and gamers. So this is a little bit of a different video. I usually don't do videos like this, but this has been on my schedule for a very long time, like since before it happened. So I'm finally forcing myself to record it because I had no idea how to go about recording it, so here we are. Obviously from the title, you guys can tell it's nothing bad. We're talking about the Genshin concert today. I wanted to get this video up sooner, like I said, because I believe the LA concert is tomorrow. And I know I had a lot of questions going into the Boston one because that was the first US date and genuinely one of the first dates in general. I think it was date number 3. I'm not entirely sure what the first 2 days were. I know the first date was one of the China dates. And then I don't know what happened in between. I know there was like one more, maybe 2, but like there was like the 3rd or 4th date, Boston. So I had absolutely no idea what to expect. So that's part of the reason why I'm making this video. And also I just kind of want to share it. I'm doing this entirely unscripted as well. So I'm going to try to get through this rather quickly because I'm probably going to forget stuff and have to add things in later. So my journey started a couple of days before the concert. Boston concert was on a Saturday, and I decided to fly out on a Thursday because it was a little bit cheaper. Honestly, with hotels, it probably ended up being the same price as if I flew out Friday or Saturday. So I don't know why I decided to leave earlier, but I did. Mainly it was because I had a hunch that the special program for 4.2 would be on Friday morning. So I was like, okay, I don't really want to be flying during that time, so I'll come in like late Thursday afternoon-ish, depending on when I got there, you know? So that's what I ended up doing. But then, as we all know, the special program did get moved because I didn't really do anything when I came in on Thursday. I was exhausted. I have not traveled in years because I've had a lot of health problems that actually like kept me from traveling. Like I was not supposed to travel for a while. And I finally I went to the doctor right before and I was like, I'm traveling on less than a week from now. And my doctor said nothing. So I was like, sick, I'm going. I said it like multiple times. I was just dropping hints and nothing. So I went. I did have to take meds on the plane, which was not a fun experience, and I would not recommend it, but you do what you gotta do. But that was Thursday. It was fine. It was fine. It was like a day. I forgot how the best word I can come up with for this is cumbersome, which is a word, but it's the best word I can think of for how traveling is because I have not done it in so long. It was a trip, no pun intended. So that was Thursday. Friday, like I said, I was planning on spending like my entire morning on special program stuff from the hotel room. And that's the other thing. I didn't actually travel alone. I'll get into that in a second. So I kind of had my whole day free then because I was gonna special program and then it got moved. So I didn't have to worry about it, which was great because I forgot and or misplaced so much of my tech stuff. I thought I forgot my earbuds, like my AirPods. Didn't forget them. They were in a random pocket of my bag that I forgot they were in. I found them a week after I got back. I did not have them for a whole week after I got back. I forgot a part of my stand for my mic, so I would have had to hold it the whole time. That was annoying. I forgot certain files to edit the final video. I forgot to transfer them to a hard drive to bring with me. So like it would have been a mess. It would have been a mess if it actually happened. So I'm grateful it didn't. And because I was in Boston, it's been like a bucket list item of mine to go to Salem. You know, like the witch trials Salem. It's been on my bucket list for years. And so we did that. Kind of regretted it because it was Halloween weekend. I don't recommend going to Salem on Halloween weekend if you're not like a touristy person. I am not a touristy person. I really don't like touristy stuff. I'll do it like once. But that was like an entire day of just touristy stuff the whole day because it was Halloween, so they get a lot of tourists, which granted, that's fine, but it was not my vibe. So even though it was like a major bucket list item for me, I could only really give it like a 6 out of 10 at most. I'll probably be inputting some little like pictures and clips I took over top of this footage, but it was fun, but I think it would be better if I had gone not on Halloween weekend. It just so happened I was there that weekend. It was fun though. We took a boat there. I get seasick though, so the boat was only fun for about halfway. And then it was cold and I was nauseous and I was just not it. This is why I can't travel anymore. It's the chronic illness for me. I got some really good gluten-free ice cream though. That was fun. That was really fun. And because it was Salem, we went into a witch shop. That was fun. I got crystals. I don't have a picture of them, but I did get crystals. They didn't allow phones. That was the thing. But that was Friday. And then Saturday was concert day. I spent the whole day just doing concert stuff. Because here's the thing. I had no idea what to expect going into this concert. Like, I didn't know what people were going to be wearing. I didn't know the etiquette. And like I said, I wasn't traveling alone. Basically, I got my ticket. And then it was brought up to someone in my family that I was going to Boston for this thing, and they really wanted to go to the symphony orchestra. They didn't care for what. They just really wanted to go. So I was like, hey, show is sold out. If you can get your hands on a ticket, be my guest. They got their hands on a ticket. Don't know how they did it, but they did it. So I wasn't traveling alone, which was actually really good. And I'll get to why that was really good in a second. Not just for the fact that I had been traveled in a while and had like overlying health concerns that I probably shouldn't have been traveling alone with to begin with. So it was good that I wasn't. That was one reason why it was good. But I spent multiple hours getting ready, and I brought a couple of different outfits because I didn't really know what I was supposed to wear. Some people were cosplaying. In fact, a lot of people were cosplaying, and I think it was really clever that they would just be wearing like the wig and like some of the makeup, maybe some of the accessories even, and then have on like a fancy dress or a suit or something. That was so smart. Y'all are so smart, but I don't know how you survived, because that auditorium, concert hall, I don't know what you would call it. It was so hot in there, at least where I was sitting. I don't know how y'all survived with a wig on. My God. And some people had full cosplay. There was like a really cool looking child cosplayer, but I was like very far from them. So I didn't really get to see their cosplay up close, but I saw it from where I was. I was on a balcony seating, but I had great seats. Anyways, concert. I ended up going with my fancier dress that I brought, which I was actually very happy about. I don't have a picture. Y'all aren't getting a picture. I forgot to take a picture. I'm VTuber. I forgot to take a picture. But I would recommend dressing fancy. If you haven't picked out an outfit yet, dress nice, because the majority of the people there were dressed in fancy clothing. So like a dress, a suit, what have you, or cosplay version of fancy clothing. Some people had like fancy cosplay. There was like a small group of people who I think were wearing like Inazuma fancy inspired clothing, which it was so pretty. They were so pretty. Oh my God. There was so much pretty cosplays. And even just the simple like cosplay wig and fancy dress worked so well. But I would say like over 80% of the people there were wearing nice clothes, whether that be fancy cosplay or like just fancy in general. And then there was like another 10% were just cosplay, which works. It works. It's fine. And then there was like the last 10% is just people wearing like street clothes, which they didn't turn anyone away for wearing street clothes as far as I'm concerned, especially because there were people in front of me in line were actually wearing street clothes and they did not get turned away. So there's that. It was kind of like an outlier to wear street clothes. So I would recommend dressing fancy. I don't know how it's going to be for the other dates or what it'll be like for LA and all that, but for Boston, everyone was dressed really nice for the most part. Now there was a line outside the venue, which I didn't know about because I went to go get food beforehand. Went to this like fancy place, and I just ordered a salad because I'd kind of been having issues all weekend with getting food that I could eat. Like, because I have a lot of weird dietary restrictions now with all my health stuff. So I had a lot of issues with just finding food that I could eat that was good. So I ended up just getting like a Caesar salad or something, but there was croutons on the salad. So I told them I have a gluten allergy and can't have the croutons. Thank you very much. They brought me out gluten-free bread at this restaurant, unprompted. I was in shock. I said I did not ask for gluten-free bread. They just brought me out gluten-free bread. It was more than I could eat. I did not need that much bread. It was fine bread, but it was gluten-free bread. I didn't ask for it. So the line, yeah, there was a line outside the venue. It wasn't that bad of a line. I feel like I wasn't waiting for that long outside. And they did, I think, let people in right at 7. So I got in probably at like 7:05 even, maybe even before that. I wasn't keeping track of time at that point. They were checking bags if you had a larger bag, at least at my venue, the Boston venue. I had a smaller purse, so I like got in the line for bag check and they just waved me through. They were like, nah, you're good. Just keep going. And I was like, okay, fine. But the people in front of me did get bag checked, and I think one of them was wearing a backpack though. So that's probably why. The Boston Symphony Orchestra, I looked up the guidelines beforehand, does not allow backpacks. So I think they were just checking backpacks. I wish I'd brought a larger bag, quite frankly, because I'll get to merch in a second. That's the big thing though, and the reason why I'm glad I wasn't going alone. I wasn't sitting with the person I went with, but I'm glad I didn't go alone because the merch line was absolutely bonkers insane every single time they opened it up, okay? So I know when I was waiting in the line, I waited from probably like, it's the thing starts at 8. So I waited from like 7, and I kind of had like a hard line, maybe 7:15. I kind of had a hard line of, I'm gonna go to my seat at 7:30. Because at that point I had no idea where my seat was, and I just wanted to like know where it was, because I had balcony seating. So I had to go find that out, like where do we go for balcony. And so I was in the merch line. Eventually I gave up on it, but the person I went with, they stayed in line for me, because right before I left the line, they started turning people away, saying that the line was too long and they wouldn't be able to get merch before the thing started. And they would be closing the merch line, I believe, once they were doing music. So the before show merch line, if you want merch, line up outside the venue if they do allow that. I don't know what it's going to be like for the other shows, if they will allow that, but line up early if you can, if you really, really want merch. Because the other thing is, it will sell out. Like, they did open the merch line back up during the intermissions. There was a couple, but it was like a mad dash for merch. Some people didn't get back in time for the actual performance after the intermission with merch. And they were selling it. Like, by the first intermission, they were sold out of a lot of the stuff. I just told the person I went with, like, they did send me a list of all the merch they had in Boston, and I'll put it on the screen for sure, because that was something I was also curious about, what they would have, because there is a list on the Genshin Tmall of merch, or there was at one point, and there's like a light stick, which I really wanted the light stick because I wanted it for the meme, because I was a longtime K-pop fan, and I have K-pop light sticks, so I really wanted the light stick. But they weren't selling the 2023 merch, they were selling some of the 2022 merch, which again, I'll get to. But I just gave the person I went with like a list of, this is the character I like, and I wanted the metal keychain. And the person sitting next to me actually had the child metal keychain, and I asked for it before knowing what it looked like, because I was like, oh, just give me the metal keychain. And like, I think I was like, I want the metal. I told the person I went with I wanted the metal keychain and the Xiao Burb keychain, but they didn't have the metal keychain. So when I said I wanted Tartag, they just got me whatever they had left of Tartag. So I got the standee and the button, and I was like got in the merch line at a good time, and they were already sold out of stuff. The metal keychains are adorable though. They are so cute. Oh my god, they're adorable. I really only saw the Tartag one though, now that I think about it, because I never got into the merch room. I never got that far. I don't know what it was like in there. I just know it was like, it was rough. I'm kind of hoping for y'all's sake they have more merch at the following shows, because oh my god, we needed more. We also probably needed a better setup, because that line was like, it was playing like, that line was playing Snake through the venue, quite frankly. But I will for sure add in my merch footage. I got, like I said, the Tartag standee, which is on my desk. He just sits there. The button, which I put on my little like clipboard thing on behind my monitors. And then I also got the shell keychain, which is so cute. It's so squishy. Literally everyone was getting this little burb keychain. I loved it so much. I love it so much. It's so cute. I know I've posted it a couple of times on Twitter, like on my birthday, because my birthday just passed. I had cupcakes and I had little like party hats on them, so I put one in little burb shell. It was great. That was the only plushie thing they had though, because if they had more plushie things, I would have been like, give me the plushies. I love plushies. Anyways, but then I also got, and this was entirely unprompted, they had some of the Melodies of an Endless Journey boxes from last year, and in those boxes is a character light stick. So I did get a light stick, as well as a notepad and like a CD. Mine, I accidentally scratched, unfortunately, the outside box, but it's fine. You can't tell. I have it on my desk. You really can't tell, which is great. You can kind of tell, quite frankly, but it's fine. And I ended up getting the Kazuha box, which I actually was going to ask for. I was going to ask for one of these boxes from the person who went to merch for me, but I was stuck between if I wanted Kazuha or Miko, because I believe they had Miko as well. I kept going back and forth, so I just ended up not picking either. But then I got the Kazu box, which was probably a little bit my fault, because I was trying to introduce Genshin to the person I went with the night before, because I was like, you gotta know something. And I think I brought up Kazuha a couple times, as well as Child, obviously. But it's really funny, because these are the two characters I've spent the most money on in this game. The only two characters I've spent $100 or more on their banners trying to get them, because I lost a 50-50 somewhere along the way, and now I have merch for both of them. How the turntables, I've spent more money on these characters, but at least I got something physical out of it this time. So yeah, that was merch. A mess, but I'm so happy I have the merch. Honestly, if you're going in a group, I would recommend picking one designated merch person and having them go online and get everything for the group. Venmo them or something. Like, this is the best way I can recommend going through merch because it's so rough. And the less people in there, the better, probably. So I would recommend, if you're in a group setting, pick one person, they're the designated merch person, they get the merch for everyone, we move. Other than that, though, everything was very nice and orderly. I didn't get too many pictures or video at all in the venue, just because the venue I was at, the Boston venue, did have a no photography rule, and they did enforce that. I would say the first 5-10 minutes of the show, they weren't enforcing it because they were like, y'all want your memory photo, your flex photo for Twitter, I guess. They weren't enforcing it, but I would say at least half an hour in, because the row in front of me, there was a group sitting in the row in front of me that was on their phones like the entire time. A couple of them were trying to like photo and video at one point, and they were doing that for a while, and one of the security for the venue did come up to them and tell them to stop. I don't know what they said specifically because they were quiet about it, but they did put their phones away. At least most of them did. One of them was still like emailing the entire concert, which was weird, but that's not on me. And then as for the concert, I thought there was only going to be 2 halves, so there'd be 1 half, intermission, second half, done. But that is not how the order of the concert was. I don't have the specific list of everything performed. There was like 2 separate 10 minutes each child themed sections. So there was, I'm not to spoil too much of it, but there was like a basic child one, like the character section, where you had like his character theme and all that. And then there was a Foul Legacy section. I had a great time. But how it went was, and this is gonna be, if you don't want to be spoiled, don't watch this part, skip ahead a little bit. But how it went was there was a Mondstadt section for about an hour, 15-minute intermission with a mad dash for the merch line. Most things were sold out at that point, but there was still some stuff left. Then there was about an hour-long Liyue section. They brought out a soloist to do some of the more like traditional instrument stuff, which was so nice. Did such a good job. That was another thing though. The conductor for this orchestra looked like they were having a great time the entire time. I used to play in orchestras, and I've seen a lot of orchestral concerts for that reason, whether it be ones I played in, ones that my fellow orchestra people have put on, or ones from other orchestras entirely. And this was probably the conductor I've seen have the most fun ever in an orchestra show. It was so wild. The people playing the music did look like they're having a lot of fun as well. There was a really funny section near the end, but the conductor specifically was having so much fun. And they were also doing a really good job. Like, they were doing a lot of really creative things with like keeping time with the music. Because I think a lot of people were like, oh, funny dance moves from the conductor. That was him keeping the beat, because that's kind of what the conductor does. So cool. It was really cool. But there was the 1 hour Liyue section. That's where we had like Tartag. There was Zhongli, all that. There was a Ganyu bit, because Ganyu is also included in this, I believe. And then there was another 15-minute intermission, which kind of surprised a lot of people, myself included, because I think everyone was like, it's gonna be 2 hours. It was not 2 hours. If you're concerned about parking, because there was multiple people who were concerned about parking near me, it's over 2 hours. Note that down, write that down. So they did the second intermission, and I think at that point, like, all the merch was gone, except for probably like bits and pieces, I'm pretty sure. After that intermission, they did probably like a half hour, 45-minute-ish Inazuma section, which not too many people were expecting, I don't think. I feel like it was like Inazuma mixed with some Liyue. The more I think about it, I'm not entirely sure. That part's a little foggy, I'm not gonna lie. It was really good though. We had the Raiden theme. Chef's kiss, so good live. It was really good. That was another thing. All the music sounded so good live. As someone who's played this game so much, it was kind of wild to like hear the music live from a like professionally trained orchestra, because it sounded like almost spot on to the in-game music. There was a couple bits where like their timing was a little bit different from the in-game timing, but that's only something you notice if you've played the game like a lot. They're kind of insane. Like, I have a lot of hours in Genshin Impact, plus all the hours I edit in Genshin Impact. So like, I've heard this music a lot, but it was like listening to it in game, but better. It was wild. It was so good. It was so good. Oh my God. But they do the Inazuma bit, and then they did a little tiny like 10-15 minute Sumeru bit and act like the thing's over at the end of that. They act like it's over. They take like a little bit of a bow. The soloist goes backstage. The conductor goes backstage. A couple minutes go by, and this is heavy spoilers if you don't want to be spoiled for the concert. Then they come back, both of them, and they do a little... I actually don't know if I got if I'm correct on the order. I don't remember if they did Sumeru's stuff before or after the fake out, but I think it was before. It might have been after though, because I'm pretty sure they do the little fake out for the end, and then they come back and do a little tiny 10-minute-ish Fontaine section. Nothing super crazy. They just did some of like the themes. They had the video footage on screen for the early stage Fontaine stuff. They didn't really spoil anything of the lore, because that was the thing with Mondstadt and Lua sections, as well as a little bit with Inazuma. They had some of like the final boss, big boss battle music. I was a little bit disappointed that they didn't have the final boss battle music themes for Inazuma. They kind of just showed the battle on the beach with it's like where Kokumi shows up and Beto's there and Kazuha's there and like Goro gets all that one, you know, the beach scene. That was about as far as they showed in the Inazuma lore. They showed like the resolution, but they didn't show how you get there. And I was upset because I really wanted to hear the Senora theme because it's so good and it would have been so good live, but we didn't get to see that. Same thing with Sumeru. They didn't do the Shoki no Kami theme, which I was so upset about because that's also so good. But I get it. They didn't want to spoil the newer parts of the story because there was people like of all different like experiences with the game. So I understand why they wouldn't want to like spoil the entire story in this like concert venue. I get it, but I wanted to hear that the theme's live really bad, so I was like, oh, come on. With Fontaine though, honestly, that was when you could tell the orchestra was also having a lot of fun, because they had, I believe it was like a soloist at one point that they were showing on screen, and there was like another guy in frame from like playing a different instrument. He wasn't actually playing his instrument, but he kept doing these like, he kept like just looking at the camera because they had, like, I think he knew where the camera was, so he kept looking at it. It was really funny at the time, and honestly, I wish like I wish we were allowed to take video footage because it was really funny. But it worked really well also with Fontaine because it's Fontaine. Fontaine is fun. It's emotionally traumatizing, but it's also fun. So that was fun. That was where you could tell the orchestra was really having a good time as well, and it was a long concert, so I was glad to see that they were still pulling through at the end. Because literally, when I played like much shorter concerts as an orchestra person in the past, I had a track record of, didn't matter who was playing the show, I had a track record of falling asleep during every set, sometimes even the ones I was in. I'm not lying about that. I would have a track record of falling asleep during every set. So like by set, I mean like chunk, every orchestra concert, I fell asleep at least once, sometimes multiple times, depending on how long the song was. This was a horrible track record I had all through high school, all right? And I do have to say, this is the first orchestra concert, maybe in my whole entire life, where I did not fall asleep once. I think I deserve praise for that. I didn't fall asleep. After Fontaine, they did officially end the concert. Everyone was kind of really hoping they'd come back out. They do like another fake out. A lot of people, we're not gonna say everyone, but a lot of people were really hoping they would do a little fake out and come back and play Hutal's theme because it was Halloween weekend. They did not. Unfortunately, everyone wanted to hear Hutal's theme really bad though. I don't know if they did that. They did like a fake out and came back and played Hutal's theme at a different venue, because a lot of people were under the impression that would happen, including myself, and they didn't. So I don't know why so many people were under the impression of that, but they were. And then the concert was pretty much over. It was really hectic after the fact, and because it was Halloween weekend, there was like people, non-Genshin Impact, non-anime enjoyers who would walk by, and I know at one point I was standing outside and these randoms who were like walking home for a Halloween party like saw that the concert was happening, and there was like a photo backdrop in the venue of the main concert art. I didn't get a photo of it, but it was really pretty. And a lot of people were taking photos there, especially cosplayers, but there was these randoms walking by and they saw it inside and thought like, oh my god, how funny, that would be so funny. And so they walked in. I think they were gonna take a photo with it or like joke about it or something. And then they saw cosplayers, got scared and ran out. So that was interesting. After that, I went home, back to the hotel. Didn't get home until like 11:30, which meant I had like 20 minutes to take my nighttime meds. So gulped those down real quick, and then knocked out. Especially because I didn't get too much sleep the night before because I was anxious about the concert because I had no idea what was going on. But that was the concert day, and then Sunday I went home. So I spent my entire morning flying back to Yeehaville. All in all, it was a really, really cool experience. I genuinely didn't even think I'd be able to go, so it was really cool that I was not expecting going to Boston, but I'm glad I did. Because I know even when they announced the dates, that was the one I was like, Boston? What's in Boston? Why is there one in Boston? There's one in New York. Why do we need Boston? I didn't know how good the Boston Symphony Orchestra is. And that was information that was relayed to me by the person I went with, because they were like, they really wanted to go. And I was like, it's an orchestra. Granted, it's like a professionally trained orchestra. They're probably great. But like, what makes this different from the other ones? But I get it now. I do. They did a great job. It sounded like the in-game music. Like I said, there was some discrepancies, but like, it sounded like the in-game music to a T, but better. It was wild. I so wish they live stream one of these at some point, because I so want to be able to like go back through it. That's the thing. I went to one date and I was like, I'll be fine going to one. I don't need to go to another. I want to go to another really bad. If there was tickets left for Chicago and or New York, I would go at this. I would buy one. I'm not even kidding. It was so good. It was so good. I think a lot of it also has to do with the fact that like one of my big things for games, I've said this before, I have a running list of if things in games are like this, I am much more likely to play it. One of those things is if a game has really good music, that can like, you got me there. You got me there, I'll play you. And that was one of the things that drew me into Genshin with the music. The music in Kaya, but like the music was there. So this was just like a really cool experience for me. I had a great time. That's, I think, all the things I had to say. If I have to add anything in post, I will. Hopefully I don't have to do that, because this is already like over half an hour long. I had a lot to say. What can I say? But if you are going to one of the concerts, no matter if it's in one of the US ones or not, I hope that this video is able to help you even in the slightest bit, or you just were around for a fun time. Half hour of me talking about Genshin. You know, it's not the first time on this channel. It won't be the last. I really got nothing else though. So yeah. Oh yeah, the concert bundle. I was gonna include that in this video, but I already did a little review of the concert bundle in the actual 4.2 special program video. I could insert some of the footage now, like over this, but it's fine. The wings are really pretty. The wings are pretty. I did finally go into my teapot, and I think I placed down the item. The like furniture item. I have so many teapot issues. I don't know why I can't put anything in my teapot ever, but yeah, teapot. Like I have 2 things in my teapot, and it's like, you've hit load. Why have I hit the load? That's really it though. Now we're done. If you like this video, make sure to give me a like down below, as well as subscribe for more and click the little notification bell to be notified when I upload new ones. I hope to do more videos like this and just go to more things in the future. I kind of brought this up already. I think it was actually in the patch review for the 4.2 patch, but this year has kind of been really wild, and I've gotten a lot of really cool opportunities, and I'm looking forward to more in the future. So hopefully we can do more fun videos like this. More half hours of me talking about IRL Genshin shenanigans. That would be fun. As always, I hope everyone had or is having a super lovely day wherever you are in the world. Enjoy the Genshin concert if you are going to any of the dates as well. And I will see you all in my next video. Bye guys!